expended. At this point, I'm not expecting any outstanding invoices. I've noted a few adjustments there, explanations for a couple of the lines that are overspent. The one I wanted to point out was one I brought up last month. The subscription and memberships line included an error in the amount of the annual website renewal. The actual cost of the renewal was $683, so that was, I think, $2,000.75 that we were credited back to our account. The finance department is adding a journal entry adjustment for that one. So that subscriptions and memberships line is currently 126.74% expended.
Okay.
That is one I'm looking for as we go through this year and prepare our budget for next year. I think cost of everything is going up, and that's one we may have to look at adjusting.
Okay. As far as the year end, one of the things that I asked April to talk to us about is, and Bernice had brought this up to me late last year, but I just noticed it again. We have a Kitty Lieb Memorial Fund that has a year-end balance of $67,125, which is a lot of money. And so I asked April to talk to us about that fund and what it could be used for, what limitations, if any, there are. Can you tell us about that, April?
Sure. The Kitty Lieb Fund was created in 1999. We received a bequest of $50,000 from the estate of Hildegard Lieb, who went as by Kitty. And in her gift to us, it was only stipulated that that money be used for books. She didn't make any other stipulations for the money.
Okay.
Would be used as books. I went back and looked a little bit, and it was in 2001, the library board voted to change that fund to an endowment, and then we just would pull interest to purchase books. We have pulled from that account with the board's approval several times over the years. The last time we did that was in February of 2021 to supplement the cut we made to the book budget line last year.
Okay. So, as I understand it, the board had made a decision to only use the interest earned from that $67,000.
Yes.
And what it's being used for is books.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any recollection of approximately how much that is throwing off in interest?
I don't have figures. I haven't asked to have them
That's okay.
from the finance department recently. Okay. I know for a while interest rates were low, and the last time I looked at like a list of it, it was maybe $1,200 a year.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, it was just something we've got to keep in mind. And both Bernice and I worked with Kitty, so I think that's kind of, I don't know.
That's why it
drew
my attention.
Yeah. Well, and just, she was a special person. And so, gosh, let me think of a special book to buy or something like that, So anyway, it's just something that is personal to me. So, and I really appreciate you telling us that and keeping that in mind as we go forward.
I was going to, are you completed what you're...
Yes.
You said, April, that it was a $50,000 endowment?
A $50,000 gift, and the board later voted to make it an endowment.
And how many years later was that?
We received the gift in 1999, and the endowment was created in 2001.
So just 2 years.
Yes.
So, and you said the current balance is $67,000?
Yep, 125.
So that has grown 17,125.
Right.
Yes,
so,
minus the times we've pulled from it as well.
So what of that amount do you think would be accessible to use for the purchase of books?
I believe the 17,000, but that would be something I would want to confirm with the finance department.
Would that be from the date that it was created as an endowment in 2001, that principle at that point?
That's good.
Yeah, my understanding is yes, but I would still want to confirm that.
Yeah, okay, well, good. Looks like there's
I
a good
think,
amount of money.
Yes, it is.
available for.
This, well, and the city attorney might have an opinion too on,
Sure.
on that, on what exactly is available. But like I said, we've got two people on the board who are familiar with Kitty Lee, but this would be a time to go, hey,
Yeah.
there's something really special here. Maybe there's something really special that we could, use to honor her. So.
Very good.
So, and if you don't, she was Sid Gislison's secretary for a long time, and just she was a fixture in the law office, at a time when a legal secretary was a really, you couldn't live without a legal secretary. You still can't, but so.
Good.
Della Street, or not. Della Street.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that anybody else has to say about the year-end report, and financial report, and summary for last year?
The finance department is still working on final adjustments, so once I have more information there, I can bring an amount of what we will be transferring to our fund balance as well.
Okay, great. And January?
Yes, so in January, we are 9.1% through 2022, and our budget is approximately 5.54% expended. There's not much to report yet. We did spend $900 from the contractual maintenance equipment line, and that was for the Lieb data site license. That's the software we use to manage the login and the printing for our public computers. And then we also have a wireless printing feature that is included in that, where people can send PDFs from their phone to print through that system as well, or laptop or what.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have any questions or comments about this part of the report? All right, let's move on. Activities, reports, and statistics.
Yes, so the TDS is working, they sent out bids for the integrated library system, which is the system we use for checking books in and out, managing patron accounts, holding our catalog. It is very, very important to what we do on a daily basis. So we are looking at bids from 3 companies for 4 products, including the one that we currently use. During January, we had a chance to view online demonstrations of the products with the vendors, and do some scoring of what we thought of each product. The next step will be interviews with other libraries who are currently using each of those products. And then the library directors at their March meeting are expected to vote on which product they would like to see us move forward with. And that vote basically acts as a recommendation to the TDS board, and who will make the final decision on which product we go with.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, good.
We have annual performance reviews wrapping up this week, and I will be working on the annual report this month that we submit to the state of Minnesota, and the library board will need to approve that, so I'll be bringing that to our March meeting. We're working on planning the summer reading program. We're planning at this point to be fully in person with our programs, and we'll adjust as needed, but we're really excited to offer much more children's programming in the building again.
Great.
We've had a number of memory lab and technology assistants appointments this month. One interesting one was that we had New Ulm's Own come and have a tutorial on using Google Calendars to manage their staffing at the store. So that was really great to be able to help them with that. And then one thing I wanted to pull out was in our YouTube statistics, the Chad Lewis Bizarre History of Minnesota, which we taped in 2020, continues to have over 50 views every month. So our virtual programming continues to draw viewers, so we're really happy with that. And the game demos, the Don't Forget to Read the Instructions series, have had over 1,800 views too.
Great. Great. Any comments on that? Okay, let's move on to programming.
The February programming calendar is included in your packet. Our winter reading program for adults continues through the end of February. We have 50 participants so far and several bingos reported. We want to thank you to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring the Chamber Buck Prizes that we'll be drawing for in March. We have a no-school afternoon movie tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the children's room. We'll be watching Clifford the Big Red Dog, the newest live-action version, and popcorn will be served. We want to thank the Optimist Club for sponsoring our movie licenses. We have a family fun day scheduled for Saturday, February 26th at 3 p.m. We'll be doing open mic joke telling. Bring family-appropriate jokes, please. And we'll have prizes for specific joke categories and a grand prize for the best joke of the day. And we'll be serving refreshments. Leroy has been printing the trophies from our 3D printer, so that's been fun to see.
Great. Great. Anybody have any questions about programming? All right, we'll move on to a staffing update.
Amy Eveslodge has resigned from her position as library aide. That will be effective this Saturday is her last day. So we just want to thank Amy for her service with the library. She's been here, I think, close to 6 years now and just has been a fantastic youth services aide. She started as a library aide down at our service desk, but she has made so many connections with the children in our community, and we just want to thank her for her work at the library. She does a really nice job, and we are very sad to see her go, but wish her well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else on staffing? Okay.
I have a quick follow-up, or refresh us,
Yes.
April, as to where we stand with your completion of your probationary period and potential recruitment for a new assistant director.
The probation period ends February 21st.
Oh.
Shauna has sent out a request for me to review the assistant director job description just to make sure it still fits the library's needs. And so once we hit the 21st, we'll be able to start moving on posting that position internally.
Okay, thanks.
Good, thank you. And it'll be posted internally first?
Yes.
All right, okay. Anybody else have any questions about staffing or anything like that? Okay, good, good. Strategic planning.
At our last meeting, we discussed, and the board asked me to put together a committee for looking at the strategic plan. And I very much agree with Ruth Ann's assessment that I would like to wait to start those meetings in earnest until we have an assistant director hired. I think that's an important thing. We have one board member, Margaret, has agreed to be on our committee, and I have one community member who has expressed interest who I need to follow up with. And then Catherine Tatnall, our youth services librarian, and Ann Anderson, one of our library aides, have agreed to be on the committee, and then I and the new assistant director would also represent the staff. I am looking for one more board member. If anyone is interested, please let me know. We would love to have you.
I was on the last planning committee. That was some years ago.
Yeah, I think in 2017, 2018.
Yeah. I mean, if you need someone, I could do it.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, Bernice.
Great, great. Okay. All right. Next, we've got an action item. Happy action item. This is resolution number 2022-02. It's accepting the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund Legacy grant for programs. At their Thursday, January 20th, 2022 meeting, the Traverse des Sioux Regional Library Board awarded the New Ulm Public Library with an Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant in the amount of $1,230 for the Hungry Town Folk Music Concert Series. That sounds like fun. New Ulm Public Library is partnering with the Dickman Free Library in Sleepy Eye, Springfield Public Library, to offer a series of concerts by this folk duo, Hungry Town, on May 26th through 27th in 2022. Hungrytown is known across the world for music featuring simple, melodic songs with strong harmonies and memorable arrangements. Minnesota has a long history of preserving, creating folk music, and Hungrytown is an excellent example of how folk music traditions are still impactful and enjoyable today. So that's our resolution. And can you tell us anything more about Hungrytown? It's a two-person unit.
Two-person. I don't know a lot about the duo. I know that they are had reached out to Leroy, our programming and technology services librarian, because they would be touring at other venues in the area.
Okay,
And so they really caught his eye, and we're excited to offer their performance.
great, sounds great. Can I have a motion offering that resolution?
So move it.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the resolution. Any other comments or discussion about this Hungrytown duo? Oh, hearing none, we'll call the roll.
Sarah Berger,
Yes.
Margaret Blomberg,
Yes.
Vince Burgo,
Yep.
Dustin Sauter,
Yes.
Bernice Schmitz,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Webster.
Yes.
Carl Seidler.
Yes.
All right. No further business. Meeting-
Wait,
wait.
I got a question.
All right.
So in the Star Tribune, this last weekend, they mentioned that there's a few libraries up in the cities that are discontinuing their fines. We've done that a couple years. And they had some statistics in there showing that, it's typically less than 1% of the revenue, and they feel that it's more harmful than good. And I just wanted to get an update, since we did it a couple years ago, have you seen any indication that, that we're getting more attendance or more people, taking out books or stuff like that because we've just done away with the fines?
I have thought about trying to pull some statistics on that, and am not sure that they would be particularly meaningful because of how the pandemic affected us.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Because I think it was beginning of 2020 that we went fine-free.
Okay.
That was, I think the biggest impact it has had on us is just the positive public image. When we still are telling patrons that who don't realize that we're fine-free, and it's always surprise and delight, when they realize that the book they just brought back and were feeling guilty about is just going to get checked in and they don't owe anything. So I think more than anything right now, it's just something that's been helpful to our patrons and was really something that was helpful during the pandemic too. We of course would have waived fines when we were closed and all of that anyway, but I think people have just needed that extra leniency. And so it was a good year to have started it, even though we didn't foresee that use of
It seems to me as well, one of the things that's difficult to capture with this kind of a program that we have in place is that we haven't lost any young patrons or any patrons who have had their cards suspended because of a late fine for a book. And so I think that's the part of the good news of the program, is that everybody still has access to the information.
I agree.
One of the things that the article had mentioned is that because of how the libraries are viewed, there's a negative stigma to having a fine at the library, and you're just, like you had mentioned about the humiliation and the embarrassment about, owing money to the library. I mean, it's worse than, in some people's eyes, than owing money to the IRS. I mean, it's so that's a good thing. And I think the goodwill part of it is, and the people's, pleasant surprise when they return the book and say, okay, you don't owe anything. So
Yeah, very much so.
Good, thanks for bringing that up. Anything else? I'm poised. Ready to go? All right, wait. Meeting adjourned. There we go. My favorite part of this job.
yeah, I never did that. So you're making